All right, well, hey, thanks everybody for coming out today. I'm Tom Muldoon. I'm the business development manager for Princess Cruises here in Central and North Florida. Just a quick background on myself. I've been in the industry for about 35 years. Spent about 10 years at a little company called Premier Cruise Lines. I don't know if anybody remembers the Big Red Boats, the official cruise line of Disney. Spent about almost 10 years at Norwegian Cruise Line. Spent six forgettable years in the hotel industry. Most recently, before Princess, I was with MSC Cruises for about 8 years. And then last year, Princess called me up and asked me if I wanted to come and join their team. And I was like, heck yeah, I want to join your team. Princess is actually for my first, jump into cruising. And I wasn't even on a ship. I'm a kid of the 70s watching Love Boat on TV on Friday nights. It was always very cool. So just super happy that Princess, asked me to come and join their team because I didn't know a whole lot about Princess before I'd ever cruised with them. And after being on, 6 cruises in the past year, really appreciate the product and really how good it is. So just a couple personal pictures of me, my wife and I in Alaska. We just did the Alaska cruise tour just last month, or I'm sorry, at the beginning of June, on the train. And then our little puppy Jude, who is now 90 pounds, and I can't hold him like that anymore. So let's find
get a bigger bag because I like to sleep right between you.
My wife just asked me sleeping on the bed as of a couple weeks ago, so I'm fighting for space every night. So year after year, travel advisors like Roseborough Travel and travel advisors all around the country vote each year on who has the best products and the best services and things in different areas of the world. And Princess pretty much every year comes out number one in Alaska. And there's a few reasons for that. We've been doing Alaska now for 55 years. We've been there a very long time. But about 50 years ago, we made a really important decision, and it's just really affected things nowadays. 50 years ago, we helped a few of the port cities in Alaska build their infrastructure, their docking infrastructure. So 50 years ago, it wasn't that big of a deal because there weren't that many ships going to Alaska. But now we know all cruise lines have ships. They're all going to Alaska now. So Alaska is a little bit more crowded than it was 50 years ago. The great thing is we kind of have them in with the Alaska government. So when we pull into a port, and they've got this big dock there that's going to hold a number of ships, we get that number one first pole position parking slot. So whenever we pull into a port, we get that great parking spot right up front. Other ships can dock at the same pier. Some actually have to dock outside of that main little city and tender their guests or bus their guests over. Some actually have to, the ship stops outside the port and then they tender the passengers in on a smaller tender boat. Princess never has to worry about that. One other thing. The one main thing that people love to see when they go to Alaska is Glacier Bay. I mean, it's beautiful, it's majestic, but the Alaska government only allows 2 large cruise ships a day into Glacier Bay for environmental reasons. Guess what one of those ships always is? It's a Princess ship. So we do get a little preferential treatment up in Alaska, and we love it. One other thing I'd like to mention also is that when we talk about Princess Cruises is a premium cruise line. So when we look at companies like NCL, MSC, Carnival, Royal Caribbean, they're all in the contemporary market. So we're a step up from that. We're in the premium market. Our guests expect better food, better service, a better overall experience. And I think we really bring it. And if you compare a Princess ship to a similar size ship in the contemporary market, you're going to find between 500 and 1,000 less passengers on the same size ship. So that many less passengers, same size ship, just leads to better overall service for our guests. So who travels to Alaska? After being on an Alaska cruise, I really think it's everybody. People that are new to cruising, a lot of travel advisors do it. Celebrating a special occasion, people will travel there. Wide range of ages. Alaska is a summer cruise destination, so you're going to have some families on board no matter what cruise line you go on. Multi-generational travel. It's really made for everybody. If you like nature, if you like beauty, this is going to be a trip for you. My wife took about 3,500 pictures in the time we were in Alaska. So it's crazy. Oh, one thing I want to mention. So as we go through this, I'm going to bring up some things that we did on our cruise tour that hopefully, if you haven't been, will help you out. My wife wanted to buy an expensive camera before we went. We didn't want to use our phones, but how often do you use a good camera? No. Not very often. A good camera, $800, $1,000. Went online and rented one. It was $200. But it had a nice telephoto lens on it. They shipped it to us. We took all these pictures. We had to buy a little card for it. Took all these pictures, kept all the pictures, sent the camera back. It's the best thing we did. You just can't get a good picture of a whale that's 300 yards away with a phone. You just can't. So, some Alaska trivia. Alaska is huge. It's you can see it's much bigger than Texas, twice as big, 4 times as big as California. 19 of the 20 tallest mountains in the US are located there. Lots of birds and bald eagles, caribou. There was a fact up here that said more people had pilot's licenses than driver's license. I don't really believe it. But you would be surprised how many planes are in Alaska. People use it really to get around. So it's just an amazing, huge, beautiful area. Of course, vacationing in Alaska, you can vacation in Alaska all year round if you want to. The cruise season basically runs though from May through September. May and September are going to be your least expensive times to go. June, July, and August, really July being the most expensive. It's not because it's really any better to go in July. It's really just the fact that it's in the middle of summer. All the kids are off school. So there's more demand at that time. So that's going to be your more expensive time. But really, no matter when you go, you're going to see great things. You know, you go early, you don't have as much rain. In May and June, we had basically no rain at all. A little bit of rain in Ketchikan, but very little. It was light almost all the time. So it was light up until about 11:30 at night, and then the sun set, and then it rose again at about 3:30. It never really got dark. It was just kind of dim, really. You can see whales anytime, bears anytime. There's great fishing. Again, May and September, your least expensive times to go. The weather's a little more unpredictable in May and September, but you go late, you go in September, you got a great chance to see the northern lights if you have good weather. So again, May through September is going to be the full season for Alaska cruising. And like I said, Princess doesn't just bring you to Alaska and sell you a couple of short excursions and send you on your way. We really immerse our guests in the whole experience. When we go into Glacier Bay, we bring park rangers on the ship. They speak through the loudspeakers to everybody on the ship. They tell you all about the glaciers, and some are receding, some are not. Just how it all works, the environment there and everything. So it's really amazing. We bring puppies on board from the Iditarod sled dog race. You get to kind of hang with them a little bit. Fly fishing instructions, all kinds of different things you can do in Alaska. Yeah, and that's the woman who won the Iditarod in 1985, the first woman to ever do so. She won it 3 more times. Wow. And really kind of nice because we do a lot of things with sled dogs up there, and I'll get to that in a little bit later. And then there's some of the puppies that we bring into the piazza or the atrium area on the ship so that you can see and get some pictures taken of them. Great food in Alaska as well. I mean, obviously salmon, you have great salmon up there. I found the halibut to be even better. The halibut was amazing. The food throughout the cruise and throughout the land stay up there was just fabulous. And if you go fishing on an excursion in Alaska, you can actually bring the fish back on board. The chefs will prepare that fish for you and bring it for you for dinner. And then, of course, like I mentioned, if you go late in the season, mid to late August and September, you got a great chance to see the northern lights, especially if you're up in Fairbanks or around Denali National Park on one of our lodges. So this map is going to show you the 2 types of Alaska cruises we do. Actually, 3 types. So Seattle, you can sail out of Seattle. You can do a round trip 7-night sailing that visits Skagway, Juneau, and Ketchikan, and that's just going to be round trip out of Seattle. But we also offer these other cruises. So you can go from Vancouver in the red, Vancouver all the way up to Whittier, or you can do Whittier all the way back down to Vancouver. Those are 7-night sailings. The great thing about those is you can attach a land package to that. Princess owns and operates 5 lodges up in the Alaska wilderness. So you can fly into Alaska, stay at some of the lodges, come down, catch the ship from Whittier all the way down to Vancouver, and then you're done. Or you can board the cruise in Vancouver, do the cruise first, and then get off the ship up in Whittier. We transport you up to the beautiful lodges that we have up near Denali National Park and do your land stay then, and then fly back from Alaska. So you have a lot of options there. And then this map is going to show you where our lodges are located. So the very farthest north is the Fairbanks Princess Riverside Lodge. Then you come down to the Denali Princess Wilderness Lodge. We have the Mount McKinley Princess Wilderness Lodge. Now, those 3 are the 3 that are used the most with our cruise tours that we operate. We have 2 other lodges, though. You can see the Kenai Princess Lodge and then the Copper River Princess Lodge. They're kind of off the beaten path a little bit. Those are smaller lodges. They have about 80 rooms in each of those lodges. But if you like to fish, you want to get off the beaten path a little bit, go out and do some fishing on your own and things like that, whitewater rafting, those are great lodges to stay at as well. So Princess sells, like I mentioned, that 7-day cruise round trip out of Seattle. And we also have the cruises that are 7 days that include the land. So the cruises that include the land are known as what's called a cruise tour. It includes the 7-day cruise. It includes a stay at some of our lodges up in Alaska, a minimum of 3 days or as many as you want. And it also includes a ride on the Alaska rail system. The tour that you have dictates where you ride the rail. So I rode the rail when I went last year. It was between two of the different lodges, and it was about a 2 hour ride. This last time when I went out, we took the train from Denali National Park all the way down to Whittier. It was about a 9 hour train ride. It went by like that. It was so beautiful. You're in these glass dome covered cars. You get to see everything. There's beautiful mountains and lakes and everything. See some wildlife. So it's just amazing. And every cruise tour includes a ride on the rail. So, like I said, two types of rail service: direct to the Wilderness Rail. That is basically going from Whittier up to one of the lodges, or from the lodges back down to Whittier, where the Princess Rail service is going to take you between a few of the different lodges. And again, whichever cruise tour you're on kind of depends on where you ride the rail. But great food and service available. They're domed cars. They are completely ADA accessible, so if anybody has any mobility issues, you're not going to have any problem embarking or disembarking the train. And then, of course, right at the front of your train car, we have a guide up there, and he sits there and tells you all about the Alaska wilderness, what you're seeing, what you're going to be seeing. He doesn't stay up there for the full 8 hours, usually just comes up and talks for a few minutes, and then he goes and sits back down, but it's really informative. So one of our competitors does something similar, but instead of actually having a guide, they kind of just pop in a tape and let you listen to it. It's nice to have the guide. They tell you everything that you want to hear, and you can ask questions, and it's just really interesting. So on the left, you've got the top of the car, because the cars are double decker, so you can see fully domed, so you have great views off the car. And then down below that, you have your food car, so you get to get down there and you can eat. You can order beverages and things, alcoholic beverages, whatever you want on the train as well. And like I said, the train ride, no matter how long it is, it's going to be incredible. Now, this is really like a seamless package. So you can fly in. Let's say you're doing your land portion first. You fly in. You have a lot of clothes, obviously, because you're doing a land tour, and then you're going to do this 7-night cruise. Maybe there's some clothes you're only going to wear on the ship. You're not going to wear them at all during the land stay. You just want them for the ship. You can literally pack those clothes in a separate piece of luggage. You can mark it with a bag tag. It doesn't say "join me tonight." It says "take me to the ship," and that bag will go directly to the ship. You never see it again until you get on board the ship. Go to your cabin, and that bag is sitting there waiting for you. And then each night, when you have your bags you need for your land stay, you put this little bag tag on it, "Join me tonight." You set it outside your room, and during the night, they come and take your bags, and they put them on the bus and take them for your next destination. So it's really a seamless thing. You don't have to lug your luggage around. We're doing all of that for you. So, Voyage of the Glaciers. That's what the 7-day cruise is called, that does the one-way between Vancouver and Whittier, or Whittier down to Vancouver. It's 7 days. You have 2 glacier viewing experiences, always Glacier Bay, and then either Hubbard Glacier or College Fjord. And then, of course, we hit Ketchikan, Juneau, and Skagway on the ports of call coming down, heading into Vancouver. So just some nice pictures of Glacier Bay. Here's a little map that kind of shows you where it is. It's a very large area. The ship basically sails in and then goes all the way towards the back there, towards Mendenhall Glacier. And just some beautiful pictures. The water there is really calm because the mountains kind of protect it from the wind. One thing I would recommend here is that when you go into Glacier Bay, the ship is going to be about 2 miles away from Mendenhall Glacier, which is kind of a long way. You can buy this shore excursion where you go off on a smaller boat and you get up to about 1/4 mile away from the glaciers. It's a little expensive. It's totally worth it. I felt so sorry for the people that were back on the ship 3 miles away looking at the glacier, and here we are right up next to it, near it. There's tons of ice in the water. There's seals everywhere. We saw a little bit of calving where the ice breaks off. But it's an amazing shore excursion. It's a little expensive, but it is worth it because, like I said, from 3 miles away, you're just not getting the full experience.
What are you talking about? Expensive?
Expensive, yeah. I think that one was about $350 a person. It was. It was so worth about $350.
About how many hours? 2?
It's about 2.5 hours to get over there, and then you sit in the bay for a while, and then you hit back. And then ports of call. So on these 7-night sailings, we go into Skagway. We did the White Pass and Yukon Rail, which was just spectacular. So you board this little train. It's a narrow gauge train. It's kind of scary actually, and you go right up into the mountains and just beautiful mountains, snow all over the place in the mountains. You actually go into the Yukon, so you go into Canada. You need to have a passport when you do these cruises as well. But Skagway's just an incredible little town there. We also hit Juneau. Juneau is the capital of Alaska. Juneau is incredible because you get to go into Icy Strait Fjord from here, or Icy Strait Point. Thank you. I was looking for that word. Icy Strait Point, and you can do some whale watching here. This is another excursion that we bought and totally recommended. We got to go out on a smaller boat out into Icy Strait. They say that you normally just see humpbacks. We saw humpbacks. We saw orcas. Only about 10 to 50% of the people get to see orcas out there. So we saw those, and it was amazing. And the guy in the boat, all the boats kind of coordinate with each other. They all talk to each other, and they tell you like if there's whales in one area and not in another. That captain tells everybody, and then the other boats kind of go over there. So it's really an amazing experience. Matter of fact, if you don't see a whale, they give you your money back. They do. They give you your money back. You get to go to glaciers by foot, flight, and sea. So you got a Hubbard Glacier there as well. And then of course Ketchikan. Ketchikan's sitting right on the coast. There's a rainforest right behind it. There's actually no roads to go into Ketchikan. You can only get there by boat or by plane. But it is a beautiful little town right on the water, cool little shops, great restaurants. If you go later in the season, typically July and August, you'll see the salmon run right there in Ketchikan, and it's pretty amazing. I don't know if anybody here is on Facebook, but about 2 or 3 months ago, I was on Facebook, and right in Ketchikan, just right in the little harbor there were whales. And they came right up right near where all the shops and everything were. It was really cool to see. Didn't see it on my cruise, but I did see it on Facebook. So this kind of shows you, this is really the train as it comes from up north down to Whittier. So when it comes down to Whittier, it's really cool because the train actually stops right across the street from the cruise terminal. So it's really just like a 5-minute walk to get to the cruise terminal from the train. This thing is not working very well. So there's the train. This is basically taken off the ship. So you can see the train is right there. The ship is right there. So everything is very close together. And then, of course, cruising on the train, there's just so much to see as you go through the beautiful Alaska wilderness, beautiful gorges, incredible mountains. We lucked out. We were out there, Denali, the mountain Denali. Is only visible about 30% of the time. We lucked out. We were part of that 30%. It was just crystal clear out there. So we did happen to luck out in June and see that. And then, of course, we have our 5 different lodges. We have Denali, Mount McKinley, and Fairbanks, which are the 3 main ones. And again, like I said earlier, Copper River and Kenai, off the beaten path a little bit, but still amazing lodges. Actually, Kenai is our highest rated lodge of all of them. So the Fairbanks Lodge, it sits right on the Chena River. It's beautiful. If you go late in the season, they grow a lot of vegetables there, and things grow huge out there. They've got squash and pumpkins that are huge, and big heads of cabbage that are like this big. And they have a very short growing season, but because the sunlight is out so much during the summer, that's how everything grows so quick. We didn't bother to go stop and see the pipeline. I was in Alaska. I didn't really feel like seeing something industrial. I wanted to see a little more nature. But staying at the Fairbanks Lodge is really cool. If you stay there one night, you get to do the riverboat cruise down the Chena River. If you're there 2 nights, you do the riverboat cruise as well as the gold pan. And I'll tell you this, the riverboat cruise I've done before, I had done last year, and I did it again this year because it was part of the package, and it was cool. I didn't do the gold rush thing last year, the gold panning. I thought it seemed a little hokey when I read about it, and I was like, okay, well, we'll do it. It's part of our package. It was so fun. They really give you a lot of history on the gold rush in Alaska, and then at the very end of everything, they give you a bag of soil that's got some and rocks, and they've already put the gold in there. There's some gold in all of it, but you get to actually pan for the gold, and I thought it was really cool. But the whole excursion itself on the Chena River is really neat. So you go down, it's on the Discovery paddle boat. So you get on the paddle boat. The river itself is very narrow. You can see how narrow it is. So as you go down the river, people who live along the river are part of the shore excursion. So all of a sudden the riverboat will slow up a little bit, and the captain will say, hey, we've got I can't remember the guy's name, but Mr. Jones over here. Mr. Jones, his family was the first family to settle here. Wow. And he gets He's got his little headset on and he talks to everybody on the ship about what's going on and how long his family's lived there. We move on. They have a couple of float planes that come in and land and take off. That's all part of the excursion itself. One thing that's really cool is you go by the dog sled training camp.
Oh.
So basically, as you head up here, the head of the camp comes out. They've got the headset on. They're talking to everybody again on the boat about dog sledding and how in the summertime they have to train them on land, and then in the wintertime, of course, in the snow. But they pull them around. They pull them around on an ATV that basically doesn't have an engine in it, so it's light, and that's how they train the dogs. But it's really interesting to hear them talk about it and just really tell you all about dog mushing up in Alaska. And then as you turn around and you're coming back up the Chino River, coming back to the hotel, we stop by this it's basically an indigenous village for people who have lived there for thousands and thousands of years. And then they come and they really show you how people survive there. I mean, in the 1,000 years ago in the wintertime when it's so cold with no electricity and things like that, and how they survive there. So it's really kind of a very cool delve into Alaskan history. They come out in this jacket that took them like 2 years to make, and beautiful with different animal hides and things like that. But it's just an amazing part of the trip and very educational as well. And then of course you do the gold rush. There's my wife with more flecks of gold in her can than I ended up having in mine. She was a little more patient. But again, the gold painting thing was really cool and definitely made the trip as well as far as that goes. And then we go down to Denali. Denali is the next national park. The Denali Lodge sits just a mile from the entrance to the Denali National Park. Now, most of these lodges are kind of out in the middle of nowhere. There's not much around. Denali, there's a few other lodges there. There's a couple of other hotels. Across the street, there's like a strip. I wouldn't really call it a strip mall. It's a strip shopping center with some restaurants and tour companies and things like that, and ice cream and places like that. But the lodge itself is beautiful. It's huge. It holds it's 663 rooms. It's campus style, so there's different areas where people are staying. And then there are a couple of beautiful restaurants there, shops and things like that. So it's really a nice place to stay. And then of course it is sitting right outside of Denali National Park, which is nice. Overlooks a beautiful river. That's kind of from the top, and you can see the lodge on the right-hand side, and it's sitting right on this beautiful river there. The campus itself is amazing. Like I said, you've got restaurants, you've got Fanny Q's Saloon. We've got these fire pits set out. Even in the summer, it's a little chilly at night. So you got the fire pits there. You can roast marshmallows and things like that. One thing I do want to mention is the food at the lodges is amazing, and it's expensive, but it's really, really good. You're looking at for dinner, you're looking at appetizer $15, your meal, your entree probably $45, your dessert maybe $10. So it does get expensive. In some of these areas, there's no other place to eat. So a lot of times you're gonna end up eating at the lodge anyway.
Yeah.
Which is why we recommend buying the meal plan. The meal plan's a little expensive. Our stay, the meal plan was $320 per person, but in the end, it saved us about 20% on our total bill. And like I said, the food was amazing, and the meal plan includes appetizer, entree, and dessert as well. But some of the best halibut I've ever had in my life, definitely. So again, back to the Denali Lodge. Again, that's Fanny Q's beautiful bar. And then, of course, if you do 1 day in Denali, you get the natural history tour, which is about a 4-hour bus tour. If you're there for 2 days, you do the Tundra Wilderness tour, which is more like an 8-hour tour. It goes farther into the park. We did the 4-hour tour. It was amazing. It was spectacular. Going early in June, we saw a lot of animals, tons of moose. Only saw one bear, a lot of caribou, a lot of bighorn sheep. These are tours that automatically come with when you stay at the Denali Denali Lodge. They automatically come with this. You want to book it early, and it's cool. You kind of use these modified school buses as you go into the park. So it looks like a school bus, but they've got monitors set up. So as you're going through the park, if anybody sees an animal, the bus driver says, "Hey, make sure that you yell out if you see an animal." Somebody sees an animal, they yell out. The bus stops. Everybody can look and see the animal. If the animal's like really far away, the bus driver's got this telephoto lens, and he zooms in on it, and then these TV monitors drop down from the ceiling of the bus, and he brings it up right close. So if you're 3 miles away from the sheep, it looks like you're just 100 yards away. So it's pretty amazing. But they are kind of modified school buses that you go on as you go through the park. Big thing is if you wait till 2028 to go to Alaska, they had a bad landslide not a few years ago that washed out part of the road in Denali. So it's at mile marker 42. So people haven't been able to go past mile marker 42 in a number of years. 2028, it all opens back up again, so you can go even farther into the park if you want to. Then, of course, just a beautiful picture of the mountain, crystal clear. And then, of course, when you go to Alaska, everybody wants to see the big five. You got the moose, you got the grizzly bear, you've got the wolf, the bighorn sheep, and the caribou. I have seen all of those except for the wolf. We did not see any wolves when we were out there. Any wolves?
He's sneaky.
But a nice little video of some moose that we saw. They were huge, probably about 10 feet tall. And then the mountain itself, Denali, partly covered there. And then as you go down farther to the south end of the park, we have the Mount McKinley Princess Wilderness Lodge. This one's fairly large, about 460 rooms. Anybody watch that show on HGTV where they were building those tree houses?
Yes.
So they built this tree house. That's a picture of the tree house in the top left-hand corner. It's right next to the lodge. You can walk over to it. It's about 5 minutes away. It's really cool. It's about 1,000 square feet, but it's set up. You got a great view of the mountain right there. So it's really cool. But again, the McKinley Lodge just sits right just south of Mount McKinley, or Denali as it's known now, and just some beautiful views there when the weather is clear. And then there's an overview of the McKinley Lodge. You can see it's on the river as well, on a different river as well, and just beautiful with the mountain range in the background. Food here again, spectacular. The lodge is beautiful. That's the part of the treehouse there. They've got the fire pits set up outside as well. The lodges are really very rustic and comforting and warm and nice. And then, of course, we have the two lodges that are really off the beaten path a little bit. The Kenai Princess Wilderness Lodge, only 86 rooms, bungalow style rooms. They've got the wood burning fireplaces, which is kind of cool. Great area to go and do some fishing in. If you like to do fishing, maybe fly fishing. And Copper River is the same way. We do a lot of different smaller shore excursions in Copper River, whitewater rafting and fishing and things like that. I wouldn't even get near that water. It's like 45 degrees. All right, so for 2027 and 2028, we changed our Alaska program just a little bit. We now offer 3 different programs. You have Denali Essentials, Denali Explorer, and Denali Escorted. So they're at 3 different price points. Denali Essentials basically includes your 7-night cruise. It includes the overnight stays in Denali. It includes the rail service, and that's pretty much it. It doesn't include any of the other shore excursions or a meal plan or a tour director or anything like that. It's a more budget-minded, or also for somebody who's been there before and maybe doesn't need all the prearranged stuff. They kind of have an idea of what they want to do on their own. So you kind of two different ways to look at it there. Denali Explorer is what we did, 10 to 15 nights. So that's a 7-night cruise and then 3 to 8 nights on land. That includes, of course, the cruise, the overnights in Denali, the rail travel, the gold dredge and the riverboat. It includes the Denali National History Tour. Does not have the tour director and does not include your meals as well. When we say tour director, though, keep in mind that's a full tour director who's there at all times escorting you. Under the Denali Explorer, you still have the tour director guy who sits at the front of the train and tells you all about what you're seeing, and they're available on the in the different areas, but they're just not there the full time. And then if you really want to be pampered and you just want everything to be included for you, you can do the Denali Escorted Tour, which again is 12 to 17 nights, and it basically includes everything. It includes your tour director, it includes most of your meals. The only thing it doesn't include is the shorter ride, the Denali National History Tour, the short one, because it includes the Tundra Wilderness Tour, which is the longer tour into Denali, that 8-hour one. So those are the 3 different types of tours that you can book. One thing I always recommend is that when you cruise in the Caribbean, everybody likes to have a nice cabin, but you don't necessarily have to have a nice cabin in the Caribbean. You can get by in an inside cabin if you really wanted to and make it work. Because you're looking off the side of the ship, you're seeing water, maybe you're seeing a few islands here and there. It's really not that important. When you're in Alaska, if you don't have a balcony cabin, you're spending a lot of your time outside on the outside of the ship. If you have a balcony cabin, a lot of times you're hanging out on your balcony as you're cruising through these different areas. It's beautiful. You're seeing stuff all the time. You're seeing animals on the shore. So you really, if you don't normally bite the bullet and pay for the balcony, you really should in Alaska because you really miss out if you don't. It's really super important to have a balcony there. You don't have to have it, but I think it's the best way to go. So tips for an Alaska cruise tour. First of all, you have to determine how much time you have. You have to factor in that travel time too, especially if you're coming from here. You've got to fly out. It's going to take you most of the day to get out to Alaska. It's going to be the same way getting back. You're typically going to be on a red eye on your way back. So it's going to take, even if you're doing a 7-day cruise and a 3-day land tour, that's 10 days. You're probably going to need at least 12 or 13 days really to do the whole thing and put it all together. Do you want to do the land before the cruise or the land after the cruise? You can do either. I recommend doing the land first and then doing the cruise. And this is my reason. When I'm done with my vacation, I'm ready to get home. I don't like to screw around. When the vacation's done, I want to be home. So flying home from Vancouver is a lot easier than trying to fly home from Fairbanks or from Anchorage. So it's a much shorter flight. That's really my only reason. That's how we did it. And that was the main reason why I did it that way. If you do the cruise first and do the land second, that's actually a little bit less expensive. So keep that in mind as well. If you're a little budget conscious, you can do either or. That way it's going to be a little bit less expensive though if you do the cruise first. Decide on your dates. Obviously May through September. Are you interested in going to some of the more remote lodges? Because Roseborough can put together one of our cruise tours that includes one of the remote lodges or both of them if you want. If you want to experience a longer Denali tour, choose the itinerary with 2 nights at the Denali Wilderness Lodge. If you only are staying at the Denali Wilderness Lodge for 1 night, you can upgrade to the longer tour if you want to and do that 8-hour tour, just an additional cost. And then of course, I've already gone over recommending a balcony, which is definitely important for Alaska. Consider the meal plan. I think I went over this as well. Ours was $320 a person, but again, saved us about 20%. It was definitely worth it. Who here has cruise princess before?
I think I have years and years ago.
So not many. This is a great opportunity. I got to tell you this. I had never cruised with Princess before last year. And I always had an idea of what a Princess cruise was in my mind. And I always pictured it to be a much older clientele. The ship shutting down at 9 o'clock and everybody going to bed early. And I got on, and the 5 cruises and 6 cruises I've been on, I've been pleasantly surprised. There's people as old as me on the ship and even older than me. But there's a lot of younger people on the ships as well. There's a lot of couples in their 30s and 40s. Summertime, you're going to have more children on board and holidays and things like that. But really, a Princess cruise is made for anybody. And I think the level of service on board just really blew me away. I just can't imagine. I can't believe how good the service on Princess is compared to some of the other lines that I've sailed in the past. Just really makes me very happy to work here. But one thing that we instituted a number of years ago, about 7 years ago, is the Princess Medallion. And the medallion is really cool. The medallion is just that part in the silver and blue. It doesn't include that gold piece of jewelry that's around it. The reason we show it in a piece of jewelry is that the color of your medallion changes depending on how many cruises you've been on with Princess. So the more in our Captain Circle Club, the higher in our Captain Circle Club, that changes color all the way up to the coveted black, which is the top of the line for the medallion class. But what we do is we give those to you, and it's on a lanyard, and I just stuck mine in my pocket. But a lot of people like to show them off. People who have cruised with Princess a lot like to show their status if they have been with Princess a lot. So we sell these necklaces and watches and things like that, so that people can actually kind of show off their medallion a little bit to show that they're a Princess supporter and cruiser. But the medallion does a lot for you. So the medallion itself, it works in conjunction with your smartphone. And the medallion, when you go to check in at the pier, the medallion is scanned and boom, you're on the ship because all your information has already been downloaded into the medallion. When you get on board the ship and you're walking around, you'll notice when you're walking around the cabins, all the cabins on the ship have a little TV monitor next. So as you're walking towards your cabin, you're about 5 cabins away, your little TV monitor lights up and says, "Welcome, Mr. and Mrs. Jones." As you get about 2 cabins away, the medallion unlocks your cabin door. So when you get to your cabin, if you've got some food or something, you don't have to worry about digging in your pocket for your card. The cabin door is unlocked. You just let yourself right in. The medallion does a lot of other things as well. When you're buying a drink, you've got the medallion on you somewhere. The guy comes up to you. He's got his tablet. The tablet recognizes the medallion. Your face pops up right there, so he knows he's dealing with the right person and just takes your drink order. You don't have to take the medallion out of your pocket or anything like that. The medallion works, like I said, in conjunction with your smartphone. You can look at your daily activities instead of carrying that sheet of paper around that we deliver in the cabin. You can look on your phone and see all the activities that are going on throughout the day. You can make reservations for different things. One really cool thing it does is you're able to track your cabin units. So it's it's 11:30 at night. You're wondering where your spouse is. You're looking on the medallion. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, they're in the casino shopping. So it does help you track. Now, if you are a child under the age of 18, you cannot turn the tracking feature off. If you are an adult, you can. So, let's say you're traveling with 3 other cabins of friends.
Yeah.
You can literally attach all your medallions together so you can track people in those other cabins as well. And it's all voluntarily, done. All right. So moving on. So who here? We did a little poll, and almost nobody here had cruised with Princess before. Who here has cruised before? Who here has cruises on a regular basis?
Oh my gosh.
Or So if you've cruised much in the last few years, you'll notice that all the cruise lines now have these onboard packages. And the onboard packages can include different things, beverages and things like that, but they've gotten crazy expensive. There's one of our competitors, $89 per person per day just for a alcoholic drink package. I mean, you got to be a professional to get your money's worth out of that. So Princess, a couple of years ago, we put together 2 packages. And one is Princess Plus and Princess Premier. And these are really, really good packages, and they're super inexpensive. And I'm going to kind of show you how it works. So you probably can't see that. So Princess Plus, let's talk about that first. Princess Plus is $65 per person per day. A day, on top of your normal rates. But let's break that down and let's see what it includes. So $65 per person per day. Automatically, it includes your gratuities that you pay every day that you're going to have to pay. They're added to your bill every single day. $17 per person per day. So the gratuities are part of that. We take the gratuities out, that leaves $48. So what are you paying for $48? What are you getting for $48? You're getting the plus drink package, which is up to 15 drinks per day, alcoholic or non-alcoholic, including specialty coffees and things like that, but up to 15 drinks a day for a value of up to $15 per drink. It includes up to 12 bottles of water per day. So that's all included as well. That doesn't go against your 15 drink count. It includes casual dining and our casual dining restaurant. So we have these restaurants on board. Typically people eat there for lunch. They're called casual dining restaurants. They're about $15 to eat at. You get 4 casual dining experiences included with that. You get your Wi-Fi included with that. Wi-Fi, $25 per person per day. That's included with Princess Plus. Keep in mind also, it says 1 device per guest under Princess Plus. It is true, 1 device per guest, but you can trade out your device. So if you're on your phone right now and you're using it and you want to go to your laptop, you log out and then you can open up your laptop. You just can't have 2 devices going at the same time. Other cruise lines out there right now, and the one I formerly worked with, when it says 1 device, it means you log into that 1 device and you can't change it. That's your device for the whole week of the cruise. So our package is much more flexible than that. And then I mentioned it includes the gratuities. So for $48 basically per person per day, you're getting the drink package, you're getting your Wi-Fi, and a bunch of other perks as well. Princess Premier, $100 per person per day. But what does that include? Again, it includes your gratuity, so you take that right off the top. It includes the unlimited drink package, so unlimited number of drinks with an unlimited or up to $20. I'm sorry, up to $20 per drink for that, but an unlimited number. Still includes your 12 bottles of water. It includes unlimited dining in the casual dining restaurants. So we have specialty dining restaurants on our ship. Typically $50, $60 per person to eat at. If you have Princess Premier, you can dine in our specialty restaurants an unlimited number of times. You can eat dinner and specialty dining every single night of the cruise. It's included in your package as part of Princess Premier. It includes the Wi-Fi, but 4 devices. It includes your shore excursion credit. Depending on the length of your sailing, we give you a credit specifically used for shore excursions. It includes reserved dinner feeding, seating, Princess photo package. So you have our professional photographers take pictures of you all throughout the cruise. At the end of the cruise, they'll give you a download. They'll print 3 pictures of you that you choose, and they'll give you a download of all the other pictures they took. So you get those the professional photographers. You dress up on dress up night. You get everything, have them take pictures of you there. Have them follow you around, take tons of pictures of you because you're going to get them all for free at the very end of the cruise. And it also includes Ocean Now delivery. So both of those do. Now we all know what room service delivery is. You're in your cabin, you order food, they bring it to your cabin. Ocean Now delivery, you can be in various areas of the ship. Maybe you're sitting in a lounge during the day that's, there's nothing going on there. You're sitting there reading a book and you're hungry and you want a beer. You can get right on your phone, use the medallion to order your food. They will bring the food right to you. So while you're sitting there in that lounge reading a book, they'll bring the food directly to you. So it's really a great package. So that's Princess Plus and Princess Premier. I really think, like I said, I don't think there's a package out there that's better priced or better value than what this is. I mean, anybody's better than ours? Rate wise, I don't think so.
And is that per day of the cruise or per day of the whole package?
Great question. This is strictly on the ship.
Okay.
Does not include land at all. This is just for the ship.
Okay.
And I got a question
Yes.
myself, and I love eating that all you can eat bacon on broil. Do you have something like that here, or am I gonna pay the $100 a day to eat it?
All you bake.
You got it. And the windham. You just eat everything.
You can eat as much as
Yeah, as much as you want, the whole trip.
you want. Okay.
You could probably do it in the buffet, but we don't have a bacon
Yeah,
package.
it's a buffet.
That's a buffet. That's
Do they make different kinds of bacon?
You need to add the bacon.
any kind you want.
Well, I mean, some places have like the maple bacon and other. That's interesting. That's a pretty cool concept. All right, and then one thing that I hear a lot about when I talk about these packages is people will say,
Pizza.
"Well, I don't drink alcohol, so I'm not going to buy the package." Well, the value really isn't in the alcohol; it's in kind of everything else. So here's an example where they don't have the package. They're buying specialty coffees throughout the day. They're buying water because they're not getting free water. They're having to pay for the bottle of water. They have an energy drink, a mocktail. All of a sudden, they've spent more than they would have spent if they just would have had the package to begin with. So keep in mind, it's even if you don't drink alcohol, the package can still be beneficial to you.
But that just says one specialty coffee. I mean, what if you, so you pay $32?
Well, yeah, that just adds up all those different drinks and that those drinks all add up to about $32. And then, you're spending $74 a day instead of the $65.
Right.
Are you limited to a certain amount of Wi-Fi per day or?
No, there's no limit on the Wi-Fi at all. Once you have the Wi-Fi, you're not cut to a certain amount of minutes or anything like that.
That's it.
You have it the whole time.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's pretty much going to wrap up my portion of the presentation on Alaska. So what I want to do is just see if anybody has any questions, anything I can answer for you, anything I covered or didn't cover that you want to know about.
I do have a question. Now, do you offer excursions to like Kodiak Island and any of these?
Kodiak is pretty far away. You can do that if you stay in the Kenai Peninsula Lodge. You can do a short excursion from there.
Okay.
So yes, you can.
Have you been there?
I have not. I would love to. Kodiak Island with the Kodiak Bears is definitely on my bucket list.
That's near the postcards, the big postcards.
Oh, they have a huge station there.
That's considered. Well, no.
They-
That's where my brother-in-law spent the entire Vietnam War.
Kodiak?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Like when I was in Seattle, I used to do all I was in the army, so I do all the vehicles and the household goods and everything
Right.
going up and back on my ship.
Amazing. Did you have a
Oh, my. We got one.
any questions out there about Alaska? Anything I can answer for you?
Food. What's the next like?
Thank you.
You're like in the lodges?
right.
Well, sure. On the ship, you're part of your pad, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, all the meals on the ships, you've got the main dining rooms, those are all obviously included and the buffet as well.
But if it goes to one of the other places, you have to pay.
Well, yeah, the specialty dining restaurants are only open for dinner, typically. Sometimes on sea days they're open as well for lunch. And the casual dining restaurants are pretty much open mostly they're open for dinner as well, but mostly for lunch. But there's numerous dining rooms on the ship where you eat for free, and of course the buffet as well. I will say this, coming from my previous cruise line, where the food in the main dining rooms was hit and miss sometimes. I found on Princess, if you don't want to dine in specialty dining, if you don't want to spend that money, the food in the dining room still stays.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's definitely the best food I've had in the dining room on the move.
Can I add something?
Yes.
Wi-Fi is the best I've ever had on a cruise ship. It's fast, it's actually connected, you can actually load stuff and it's fast.
Yep, and you can stream.
So during the Vietnam War, my brother-in-law was it's. Give a whole in Sitka, he did it, he got and they split up in Sitka, he loved it, he said it's just, I'm.
I'm sure.
Until you see it, no, but until you see the, you know, we're Michigan, yeah, we just sell and stuff, it's just, it's not that deep.
One short version I forgot to tell you about is when we were in Denali, when we got into Denali the very first day. We had, we got in like 2:00, so we had the whole afternoon. We ended up booking a short excursion on ATVs, and my wife was like, "I don't really want to do this." I mean, we got a double ATV, so I was driving and she sat in the passenger seat. She's like, "I don't really want to do this. This isn't really going to be a lot of fun or whatever." And she thought it was one of the best parts of the trip. We were in Denali. We went into the backcountry of Denali, out in the middle of nowhere, beautiful rivers, just. Lots of wildlife, saw a bunch of moose out there, but we were out there with 5 other ATVs. It was nothing else around for miles. It was spectacular.
It's beautiful. Last call for energies?
Oh, we're gonna do a couple drawings. All right. Where are they?
No.
Oh,
Oh, that's here,
yeah.
sorry.
Okay, so we got 2 giveaways. We've got a nice princess bag so that when you're on your Alaska cruise, you can send your bag to a lot of your clothes to the ship, but then you can keep a smaller bag for some of the other stuff you want on the train. And when you're traveling around on a motor coach, we've got the nice princess bag. And then we have a pair of binoculars for your view of pleasure when you're up in Alaska. You definitely need those. He gave me that $10. Jerry Taylor. All right. You get your choice? The first. All right.
Yeah.
Cheryl Lee.
That's you.
So we're offering a booking bonus as well. If you do book a Princess cruise, this was all in Alaska, but we travel all over the world. We sail right out of Port Canaveral. If you just want to do Caribbean, we're huge in Europe. We're big in Australia, New Zealand. Our most popular destination right now has been Japan. We've had a ship over there for a number of years. It was actually built in Yokohama, Japan, so it's perfect for the market. We're putting a second ship over there as well because it has gotten so popular. So, but if you do book anything in the next week with Princess, we're doing an extra, on top of any promotions that we're running, we're doing an extra $50 onboard credit if you book inside the balcony and a $100 onboard credit for any mini suites or above. So anything you book this week.
If they do the man thing, do you know what big highlights they have?
Oh, I mean, some of we go into Nagasaki. We sail out of Yokohama, which is right by Tokyo.
It's been new, that's why I asked.
The real big highlights are of course, cherry blossom season is huge in March and April.
Well, that's because it's the only time the Imperial Gardens are open, free. Yeah.
Mount Fuji.
The Dry Butsu is the big one that. I spent a whole day waiting to catch the train and go up so we could see the Dry Butsu.
Amazing.
It is amazing when you see it. I could scan inside. And that's how big it is.
So it's 1 week?
The sailings in Japan.
No, I mean
the sail is 1 week. So you have today through next Wednesday to book.
Okay. I'm gonna put it on first. Now.
Any other questions about Alaska or about Princess in general? Anything I can answer for you?
Oh, yes, do you offer military discounts on the cabins?
Thank you. That was in the back of my mind. We offer a military onboard credit for those who either retired, got their DD 214, whatever. So you get that. You also Princess also has this ability. We allow you to combine different offers. So you could, if you were in the military, you would get that onboard credit. If you own more than 100 shares of Carnival stock, you get an additional onboard credit as well. Yep. So Princess Cruises is owned by the Carnival Corporation. They've owned us for about 25 years. We're totally separate, but they're actually our own.
Alright. I'm gonna have her husband buy them. See, he buys them. So
And then I brought some new 27 Alaska brochures. Alaska 2028 just opened up. So keep that in mind. That's out there for sale. Alaska is one of those destinations, especially the peak times, that sells out pretty quick. A quick note: if you're doing the southbound, if you're doing the one-way cruise between Vancouver and Whittier, if you're going from Whittier to Vancouver, you want to be on the port side of the ship or the left side of the ship because that's going to be your best viewing. And if you're coming up, you want to be on the starboard side. From Vancouver to Whittier, you want to be on the starboard side.